We gather this evening as the sun sets to remember a day of horrific violence 25 years ago when the world changed for so many.
Columbine became one word: tragedy. Yes, it is a beautiful flower, but if someone not remarking about the flower, most likely anyone uttering the word Columbine is probably referring to the school massacre that occurred here.
We'd like to take a few minutes for everyone to introduce themselves to someone next to you. We'd like you to share your experience of Columbine with that person.
On April 20th, 1999, I was working as a pediatric RN in a medical clinic close to Columbine High School. We received a trauma alert and all chaos erupted, and soon the clinic started receiving injured students, teachers, and traumatized family members.
The dispatcher's voice on the other end relayed the horrifying news of a mass shooting at a local school, and that we were all expecting casualties. The urgency was palpable. I, along with every other emergency room clinician that day, dropped everything and immediately went to work.
A quarter of a century has passed since everything changed, at least for me, but I can still vividly remember much about that day. I don't recall if I just froze or what happened, but all I remember was looking around and suddenly everyone was gone. I ran over to a nearby closet, which was locked, and a frightened girl was looking at me through the window from the other side. When we were brought across the stage, my uncle yelled at me from the crowd, grabbed me, and escorted me out of the school immediately to his truck. I asked him about my sister and her ankle, and he said it's much worse than that.
Please raise your hand if you or someone you knew was impacted by Columbine.
I'm here today because I don't want the memory of these victims to be forgotten, or anybody at all who was impacted. Sadly, 25 years later, we're still suffering from these tragedies, but we have also seen much change.
Our life can change so quickly. Mine didn't when I was shot, but I never gave up hope. I chose to make a new start, to move ahead, to not look back, but change doesn't happen overnight, and we can't do it alone. Join me, let's move ahead together. Thank you very much.
Cassie Bernal was 17, a junior at Columbine. Her heart's desire was to live for Christ.
Corey DePuter was 17, a junior at Columbine. His goal was to become an officer in the Marine Corps.
Stephen Kernon was the youngest victim at 14. He dreamed of becoming an aviator.
Kelly Fleming was 16. One day, she hoped to be a published author.
Matt Ketcher was 16. He brought joy to those around him with a kind word or gentle smile.
Dan Robaugh was just 15 years old. He was a funny kid with an infectious laugh.
Daniel Mauser was 15. A sophomore who excelled in math and science and got straight A's on his last report card.
Dave Sanders, 47.
He saved countless lives that day.
Rachel Scott was a 17-year-old junior at Columbine. The day she died, she told a teacher, "I'm going to have an impact on the world."
Isaiah Scholes was an 18-year-old senior at Columbine. After graduating, Isaiah wanted to attend an arts college.
John Tomlin was a 16-year-old sophomore at Columbine. He had a gentle disposition and a great sense of humor.
Lauren Townsend was an 18-year-old senior. She had planned to major in biology at Colorado State University.
Kyle was a 16-year-old sophomore. He had always smiled, forgave, and saw the good in the people around him.
Life is short, and we do not have much time to gladden the hearts of those with whom we share the journey. So be swift to love, and make haste to be kind. Go in peace. May the memory of Columbine inspire all of us to dedicate ourselves to a world free of gun violence.